Got a text a little bit ago from one of the competitors in the Spring AI Challenge, and I am not about to go down without a fight, which is why we're going to talk about my submission for today. And apparently, I need to do a few more this week. But I'm going to tell you why I built a tool to visualize a problem. But first, let's see what the problem is. So here we have website. It says analyze your AI sessions with precision. This is a complete site that's built 100% by AI, of course, using V0. It has some great features: token analytics, cost tracking, latency insights, robust parsing, multi-file support, and model comparison. Pretty amazing, right? From a visualization tool. Now, if you're wondering how I did these highlights, hopefully they come through on the video. I'm using React Bits. Magic Bento provides this just out of the box. And it's just a really nice little feature. So why did I do this? I did this because if I open up all my different sessions here, we can see that they are currently loading in multiple sessions. And here we have my OpenClaw obsession, as it were. Now, the token pricing is a little off. However, it's not off when I consider all the different sub APIs that I've made. So it's kind of close. If you click this little option up here in the top, you can actually come in, see your different models that are in and adjust the pricing accordingly. I thought this was pretty cool. You just upload your OpenClaw session. It'll tell you your total tokens, how long you've been playing with OpenClaw, or Moltbot, or Claudebot, if you go back far enough. The average number of tokens per message, way too high, way too high. Clearly, I have some optimization work ahead of me, but right now it just works so good I can't help but use it more. And you can see the cumulative tokens over time continues to go, and I'm concerned that this is actually going to be an exponent. Maybe there's an S curve in here. Thankfully, there's guardrails on the budget. Let's see. We have model usage. We can see I'm a huge fan of Communicate 2.5. Not so much on auto. On the auto model, I've actually found that it's not so good for my use cases. And in fact, when it pulls in a lot of cached responses, it's just absolutely terrible. I've actually given some thought to writing my own abstraction just to let me pick like different models. But then I realized like really what I need is like similar to a human brain. Like at certain times of the day, I need my brain to work at 100%, 80%, sometimes 120%. And some days it'd be nice if it showed up at all. Like today, it'd be nice. It shows provider tokens. Everything's going through Open Router. The message latency kind of shows here what the different duration is of those messages. And then you can download some things. There's also, I think there's a tab, I thought, yeah. So there's a timeline tab here. It shows the messages that I've sent back and forth. And if I click on highlights, it shows some of the highlights, like the biggest token spike with 240,000. The problem. I've since gotten way better with the compaction. Now that I kind of know how it works, it'd be nice if it just worked out of the box. And it shows a whole bunch of stuff, including like a message to my son, and some stuff around my Notion to do and some emails that I have coming out of OpenClaw, so which is pretty cool. I use the OpenClaw system to send me like a daily briefing so I know kind of what's going on, or I can respond with, hey, what's on my calendar for the week? Could I just click on a calendar and look at it? Totally could. Is that cool? Absolutely not. So here's an interesting thing, a couple of interesting things. I built this, of course, in V0. I will include a link to this in the chat. Actually, no, it'd be in the body of the YouTube, right? I'm getting somewhat better at this. But I like to bring this over to the Kindle that I have up. So I've been reading The Effective Executive, and I've gone through the book, and I've found that there's a lot in this book that will help you better manage your agentic solution. There's a lot that maybe doesn't apply, but there's a lot of little insights into executive management that are somewhat timeless. Drucker wrote this many years ago, and we could argue if there's some things that don't apply in today's world, but there's a lot that does. And the very simple one is just this first one, which is first step towards effectiveness is a procedure, recording where the time goes, right? Having a sense of where you're spending your time at. And then there's this other highlight I have here, which I thought was a really interesting one, which says the next step in which an executive is asked to focus his vision on contribution, advances from the procedural to the conceptual, from mechanics to analysis, and from efficiencies to concern with results. This is probably not a video to talk about the philosophy of this question, but there's a thought here that I'll share with you today, which is thinking about no matter what team you're on, a family team, a church team that's doing something for a not-for-profit. I guess, if you're not doing something with the church, you can do something with a not-for-profit. Even your place of employment, asking how you can be a useful contributor to the organization can really reframe your day-to-day, right? It can really put aggravations you're experiencing with your work, put those into a certain place, and just think of like, okay, how can I be useful in my contribution? And you'll find that just by reframing your work in that way, it's really going to be a useful unlock for all sorts of things. So, having said that, I've now technically covered the requirement for the first week with this YouTube video, but if I do a couple more, I can get a few more points. So I might do that. I'm not about to go down without a competitive fight here. So this is going to be an interesting couple weeks.